Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Eating While Broke. I'm your host, Coline Witt, and today we have Tai Savot in the building, creator of Love and Listings on VH1 and founder of Agents in LA. Agents of LA.
Wait a minute, seriously?
Of LA. My bad. I'm sorry, I'm starving. It's noon over here, and we have a table full of food, and I'm dying to know what you're going to have me eating while you're broke, but what you're going to have me eating today.
Well, we don't have organic turkey, but we are going to do some tacos.
Organic. You're going to do tacos. Everyone loves tacos. And what I like about Tai, guys, just so you know, is I was trying not to bother you and text you too much. I was like, okay, you're doing tacos. Like, what are the ingredients? And I didn't want to pester you, so I was like, you know what? I'll just get typical taco ingredients. But Tai was really cool. He was like, you're missing a couple things. I'm gonna go shop and I'm gonna bring the missing ingredients for you. So go ahead, tell us what the ingredients are for today's tacos.
Well, we got the onions. Obviously, every good taco has a little sprinkle of onions. And then we have these peppers. You know, I mean, I like everything spicy. Obviously, that I'm Thai, and, you know, I love all the different kinds of pepper types, ghost peppers, you know, to Thai chili peppers. So I had to bring that, had to bring the fire. Avocado, right?
Okay.
I mean, that's just like that bougie side, right?
Yeah, that's that bougie.
Right?
That's that. Well, you weren't eating avocado when you were broke, though.
I think I was picking them up from the trees. You know?
Okay.
My dad had them. You know, right? So
okay. So
right?
It was like, okay. I can respect that. Yeah. You got the taco shells, the lettuce, the cheese, the salsa,
all of it. The
turkey meat, hot sauce. I love that you brought these hot sauce packets and you were like really gung ho about them.
I mean, you get these things for like free, Taco Bell, right?
Not anymore though. Don't they charge you now?
I don't know. I mean, there's teenagers working there. They give them to you for free.
No. When I go and I'm like, can I get an extra ranch? They're like, you need to order 5 more nuggets for that. I'm like,
no. Where are you going?
I haven't done it, but every once in a while it happens to me. It's like when I go to grocery store and they charge you 5 cents for a bag.
Yeah.
I don't know why it infuriates me.
Me too.
10 cents? 10 cents. It infuriates me. I'm like, yo, are you really counting the bags?
Well, I mean, it's that stupid law, right? Where the recycle law, where they have to like tax everything. I mean, well, maybe that's just another tax law, right?
Is it a real law or is it just
they're trying to make some money?
California being California. California is the only city that
yeah. Well, we have a lot to say about that, but
I tell people all the time, in California, you're just paying for the weather. You're paying a premium for the weather.
Are we though? Because it's just like some like whole bunch of seating in the clouds and.
I like the weather. There's no other city that compares weather-wise.
I mean,
consistently.
I feel like it's manipulated.
Yeah.
That's a whole other topic.
So go ahead, start cooking up this dish, and while you're cooking, take me back to what was going on in the days of.
Whoa, there's a lot of things going on here.
You know what?
Oh, you got this
the first two knobs are the knobs you're cooking on.
You know what the problem is, guys? All guys will understand this. We try to cook things as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. Okay, women, everything is like Xanax, right? Everything's like so relaxed. I'm gonna have a good time. But guys, it's high and cook the shit fast.
Okay, that's good because I'm starving.
Okay, well, whatever.
Cook it, don't burn it, and then
no E. coli for us. All right, cool, we're good.
And then this is electric.
I got you.
Okay, you got it.
I got it.
All right, so.
Good.
I'm assuming that these tacos was a staple at some period in your life. Take me back to what was going on during the Taco Bell Thai phase of your life.
I mean, there's been a few times in my life, right, where, you know, you overspend and you want to keep up with the Joneses, right? So keeping up with the Joneses, it's like a certain kind of attire you have to dress in, a certain kind of facade you have to keep up. And in that, it's if you don't have the foundation, right, built out, you know, you can go broke in that, right? So I have had many times in my life where I've had my ego get in the way, and I've purchased bigger items than I probably could have afforded, right? I've always had really nice things, nice houses, brand new, nice cars. I mean, right now I think I've had over 35 different kind of cars.
Wow.
Right? You know, I've probably spent maybe over $1 million in cars.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people can't say that.
Now, but take me back to your home life, like you're growing up prior to all of this. Middle class, rich.
Okay, so this is the thing, right? Home life. My grandfather and my father are from Thailand, right? From a third world country, and they came over to the States, and where they met my mom, right? My dad, and very modest. My family in Thailand is very predominant, but my dad did not like the politics and decided that he wanted to live a very humble life, and so moved out to the valley where he met my mom, right? My mom also had humble upbringings, but my grandfather on my mother's side did inherit quite a bit, but she never ever took anything from her family. So we have two individuals that had, you know, these prides that wanted to do things, everything by themselves, right? So it was always that, you know, if I take something from my family, then I owe them something, right?
Okay.
So my mom struggled. She had my sister, my oldest brother, well, I'm the middle, I guess, my older brother. So there was 4 kids, essentially, right? So she struggled to try to raise us. She had multiple husbands that failed and, you know, just trying to make ends meet, right? And then, you know, meeting my dad, you know, my dad was very frugal with money, you know, because he didn't have anybody to call, right? He wasn't calling back in Thailand, hey, Mom, can I borrow some money? None of that stuff. So he worked as a bartender, and which was not like a very noble job, right? But he saved up enough money to buy a piece of real estate, and he bought that first piece was a 11 unit, you know, which I don't even know how he did this, but what he did was, which was super cool, is he bought these pieces of real estate from, I want to say like Palmdale or Lancaster, pulled them out of the ground, right, and cut them in half, and then moved them actually in, I want to say Arleta, California. So 11 units.
You mean he really uprooted it?
Yeah. First off, how do you think about that? How do you do that stuff?
Yeah.
Like
he on a whole nother level. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool. I'm not trying to burn this, but
no.
I mean,
your fire is low, it seems, or maybe it's just the.
No.
Are you
it's
on
cool.
the right burner? Yeah,
Listen,
you on
I'm
the
not-
right
I'm trying to
burner.
make it
I'm gonna
like
stay
a-
out of it because your story is really interesting.
So-
Backtrack. So your mom had the 4 kids after him, or there was a
after him, but I'm just kind of giving a
Okay,
little bit
got
of
it.
backstory, you know, who my mom is. It's not like she's taken money from our family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my dad hasn't taken any money from the family. So, you know, they really had to do it themselves.
And did you guys know growing up that your relatives had money? Was it kind of frustrating knowing that a little bit at times, or no?
You know what? When you have a certain amount of love, money can't replace it, right? So
That should go on a Hallmark card, by the way.
probably, yeah, but it's just how I feel. So
No, that was beautiful. That was like the most beautiful sentence ever.
you know, when your daughter looks at you and gives you a hug, you know, yes, sure, it's great that you bought her the brand new bike, but that hug, that as a parent, you feel that, you know, it means more than the bike. Mom, if you can afford it, you know, that's amazing, but your love is always going to cover me and everything that I need, right? And, you know, it reminds me of that story, obviously, with the Ukrainian war and a lot of these politics that, you know, we're seeing with this war, right? And there was this starving child, right, with her mom, and she must have been like 7 or 8 years old, and her mom was in the background. They were doing an interview, and she told the cameras that she doesn't want to upset her mom, and that she doesn't want her to feel the pain that she's suffering, and that even though her stomach was growling, right, she said that she didn't want her mom to suffer. Okay, little girls did that.
Yeah.
You know, so when I see stories and hear stories about that kind of stuff, you know, purity, children that really look after us versus we looking after them, you know, that's why it's so important to really make sure we take care of our children and never have them suffer. But it's so sad to see that a child was taking care of her parent.
Yeah.
And because the mother felt so bad that she could not, get her daughter food because, when they were trying to get food for the daughter, they were blowing up people. And this was in the Middle East,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I'm not trying to pick sides, but regardless, anytime there's kids involved and a mother involved, there is no sides to me. There's what's right and what's wrong.
Exactly.
And it was just very disheartening that we would even do that. And it makes you think that, love is so beautiful and it fills your soul and it fills your gut, right, with everything you might need. So that's probably the best meal you could ever have.
Yeah, yeah. So you're going back to your dad uprooting these buildings. You were how old when you witnessed this whole endeavor?
To which part? I mean, there's certain parts of my childhood that, for some reason, it's just really unclear. I mean, Mom got through a divorce with my father. Mm-hmm. My father was cheating on her, mm-hmm. which probably most men do.
Yeah.
Why'd you say that? Yeah.
I mean, shout out to my husband. That's terrible.
Oh, jeez.
He knows I talk smack, but yeah. Shout outs to him. He gave me the 411 education. Cheating.
I'm just saying,
But what? Yeah, okay. So he cheated, and then your mom was like, "I'm out."
Yeah, my mom is out. I mean, I think it's different back in the day, and maybe it's not. I mean, first off, I don't want to get smacked right now. Mm-hmm. So, there's needs, and there's a lot of anxiety especially when you don't have the money that you see all your friends have, right? So sometimes there's an escape, me and you, right? We're in a relationship. We have kids, and maybe that we're fighting so much that we tend to forget about us, right? And we have to stress because what are the stress really about? Not providing for your children.
Yeah.
So it was a lot, I think, for my mom. There were two struggling young individuals that were trying to provide for their kids, and I think my grandmother and his mom had money, but no one was helping out, mm-hmm. and they were staying out of it, obviously, in any kind of relationship. So I think my dad had the intentions to find somebody else and not to deal with that, mm-hmm. right? Which is definitely not the right way because I was one of the kids that had to experience that. Mm-hmm. It's there's no right or wrong. There's just a lesson, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we all take inside, especially the children, we're kind of like these sponges that really just absorb it all. And it's sad that it happens like that. It's not just putting food on the table for your kids, but it's obviously the missing love that you probably should have had.
Yeah, yeah.
And just because you feed, your family doesn't mean it's the same as loving your family. Mm-hmm. So. There's different things in my life that I've experienced, and I don't regret any of it, because what I do think is that it's taught me a lesson. It depends on each individual if you're willing to understand that lesson, right? So I'm a very big believer in the Bible and reading stories that can resonate with myself. I don't believe in pushing it, but if those stories resonate with you and you learn something from it, then maybe you can utilize it in your life.
Yeah.
That was kind of deep. I don't know.
No, it went real deep. So I'm trying to get back to your father starts this endeavor in real estate because
Sure.
Your whole most of your resume is in real estate and production, but I'm curious to know how him getting into real estate impacted your journey.
Well, it's not just my father. I think my whole family has been into real estate.
Oh.
My grandmother worked in real estate, buying and selling houses at an early age. She worked at, I think, Century 21 when they first opened, right? Probably, I don't even know, is it the 60s? Mm-hmm. And, she loved real estate. And my father, saw that you could make money off of tenants. Mm-hmm. And, this is the thing about immigrants, right? My dad was an immigrant. I'm a Thai citizen, an American citizen, so I have to have a certain appreciation for the hustle that mm-hmm. immigrants have in this country, right?
Yeah.
And, for what he did to work as a bartender and to make millions off of real estate, right? And getting a piece of that American dream, right? And without an ego, I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
So, as a kid growing up, I worked in real estate, but not through the same conventional ways that they did, right? I worked in a bank, not by choice. There was a girl I was dating, and the dad wanted to kick my ass, and he said, "You're coming to work with me every day." So that's exactly how I got into real estate.
That's hilarious. Well, that's how you got into real estate or into banking? When you say bank.
Real estate, because it was a mortgage bank.
Oh, it was a mortgage bank. So you're doing like home loans.
Home loans. So
Oh, shit.
this guy
That's
wanted to
hilarious.
kick my ass
And then
because
he offered you a job?
no, it wasn't really an offer of a job. It was more like, if you keep on dating my daughter, that's sneaking out of her house after 11 o'clock at night, coming to my house, I'm gonna go break your teeth. So he lived down the street. This guy had a Hummer, a Lotus and Mercedes and all the fancy cars, and he also had this daughter that looked like Christina Aguilera, right?
Okay,
so
yeah.
me having the hormones I had, I'm like, I'm gonna pull that.
Yeah.
And sure enough, she was walking down the street with her brother one time, and did what I do and just spit the game. And next thing you know, she was sneaking out.
Yep. And then daddy came for you.
Yeah, daddy came for me. And he basically went to my mother, and he said that, yeah, I heard your son is sleeping with my daughter, and yeah, that's going to be a problem. And it's Italian mafioso kind of looking dude. And my mom called me, right, on my Nokia, right, the phone.
It's a brick.
Yeah, exactly. And said, Tai, I don't think you should come home. I'm like, come home? What do you mean? She says, yeah, this guy says you're hooking up with his daughter, and yeah, he's pretty upset. So my mom had to negotiate the terms, and I was going to go to work with this guy every single day so that he could pay attention to who I was and what I was doing with my life.
And how old were you at the time?
Was I 19, 18,
Jesus.
18, 19? I don't even
Okay.
know. Right around, maybe I was 18, I don't know. I mean, old enough to get my ass kicked by a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
So, and especially, listen, you're definitely going to get your ass kicked when it comes to somebody's daughter. Because I have a daughter, so I know how it is to be a parent. You're never going to win.
Do you look back and now you go, I get it, like a
Yeah,
Like
yeah, 100%. Listen, if you try to do anything with my daughter, you're getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line. Like, it's going to happen. And
Really?
I get it.
How old's your daughter?
My daughter is 14. I was going to say 13,
Oh, geez.
14.
So you're inching into like the troubled territory.
No, I mean, she's a good kid. She horseback rides. She does all the sports that daddy's going to be paying for the rest of his life, probably.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, listen, every man should have a daughter, right off the bat. It makes a man.
Okay.
I believe that. I have played Barbies on the floor with my daughter. I painted nails. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm a great dad, Maybe it stems from, my past childhood of maybe not having parents around like I probably should have, but I'm probably like overcompensating, right?
Okay.
I could probably have been a nail technician. That has nothing to do with my Asian side.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So you end up working at this bank. Do you and the mean daddy end up becoming buddies and like?
We did. We ended up opening a company together.
Get the freak out.
Okay, this is the
That's
craziest.
hilarious.
This is the craziest part.
Did you end up staying with his daughter?
No, he wanted me to marry her, and there's no way. I got rid of her ass.
Oh my goodness.
And then we started partying and hanging out with chicks and crazy. I mean, the fact that I even have these stories in my head, if you could even imagine the stories in my head of women in a convertible BMW with no tops on, driving on the road, and we're in the front seat of the car. Just crazy stuff, like crazy stuff.
So you and Dad end up buddies for
We're
real.
buddies. Yeah, we were buddies after that point. And I think I went to the graduation for his daughter, didn't do anything with her, and called it, say, peace. It was one of those things. It was weird.
That's crazy.
I got into money with this daddy, right? So, this was, I think, 2006, right? And we ended up doing financially amazing. And let me tell you, first, let me backtrack a little bit, right? When I was that kid that was going to work with the father, I was this really shitty punk ass kid. It was 18, because now I remember 18, because I just graduated. At 18 years old, nobody wants to spend time in any kind of building, right? Especially an office bullshit job, right? So I learned the mortgage banking business inside and out by annoying people. And I say annoying like, all right, Karen, I'm going to sit here and watch you underwrite stuff, right? And so I'm reading the book, I'm underwriting because I have nothing to do. I'm bored, right?
Oh, he didn't really give you a job. He just needed you under supervision.
Oh, supervision. There was no job. There was no payment, nothing like that. Let's get that strictly, clear. There was nothing. I was spending my own money to go to work with him, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Because it was either that or death. So
Okay.
it's like, which one do you want?
This is hilarious. Okay.
So I went to work with this guy, and he was busy, macho dude, doing his thing, right? Italian guy, big ass office, and me, I'm like in a small little cubicle, like, hey, do whatever the hell you want, but you're standing here, So I ended up meeting everybody in that company and sitting with them, became friends with them, and learning their jobs. But so I'm talking about learning their jobs so well, I learned it only to say that they're doing shit wrong.
Oh my God.
That's like Dennis the Menace. Hey, Karen, do you know that this guideline says that you can't do this? And she's like, I don't care what we're talking about, Tai. And then I was like, oh, let me go to Art. Hey, Art, guess what? You're probably going to lose money from your investors if she doesn't correct this. I tattletaled on everybody in that company.
That's how, now I see how you guys ended up becoming partners.
Right?
Because you were showing him, indirectly, you were showing him that you knew this stuff, but indirectly,
not on purpose. But there was this guy named Tony Ravella. He had a company called Fortune 1. The guy was probably 6 or 7 years older than me, right? Hot shot, Latin guy, walks in, and he's like, hey, I'm looking for my checks. I was at the front, right? And I said, checks? I said, oh, whatever, right? And so I would go to the back and I say, hi, Art, this guy, Tony, says, he's looking for checks. And he's like, just give him these checks. He had them on his desk. I look at the checks, I'm like, $27,000. This guy's not that much older than me. Yeah. Hey, Tony, how do you make this kind of money? And he's like, I'm a lender, for real estate agents. I'm like, a lender from real estate agents? Okay, well, how do I do that? I'm a broke skateboarder, right? Right? So he's like, yeah, why don't you come hang out with me, and I'll talk about it. I'm like, hey, Art, Tony, your client, he's like the number one client, says I can go hang out with him. He says, okay, so whatever. He didn't care. Yeah. And so we ended up going to Miyagi Sushi on Sunset and having the craziest time of our life, right? Here I am asking a million questions. I'll never forget this, right? Anybody that somebody doesn't want to have an annoying kid asking them, what did you do to make your money, right? It's the most annoying, especially you're young and you just really want to find out the secrets. So I was doing that constantly. And they're like, Tai, this is not business time right now. This is just we're partying, we're having a good time. You're the young kid that shouldn't be drinking, but you're taking everybody's shots.
Yeah.
Because I was driving in really nice cars. I was driving in H1 Hummers with these guys, so it's I felt like I was part of the crew, even though I was on probation, pretty much.
Yeah.
But these guys saw that I had interest, and they wanted to help me. So I did what every young kid that wants to make $1 million, right? I started sitting with these guys and just watching what they do, and I said, well, hey, let me see if I can go get a deal. And sure enough, I got my first deal. I made it was $4,800. But for a kid that
that's a lot of money, yeah.
To making $4,800, I was like, okay, well, cool. What am I gonna do with this money, right? So I started buying stuff, just random stuff, and it was stuff that I didn't even need, right? I'm like, well, this is cool, but now I'm broke again, right? Because it's when you feel like you're rich. $4,800 to me and you are like, oh shit, we're broke, right?
Yeah.
But when you're a kid and you have your parents, that are taking care of everything, and you're getting money, you're like, well, okay, well, I don't want to go broke again. How do I get my next deal, right? Yeah. So I started learning how to talk to people and learning about sales books and educating myself. With the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, right? The Robert Kiyosaki mentality, and just reading different kinds of sales books. I mean, I have a crazy book collection. Anybody that wants to be on my level, you better be prepared to buy at least 100 books, right?
Okay, I like
because
that.
It's psychology, right? Psychology 101. And you have to understand how to read people so well just by the way they look at you, their facial expressions. That's it. People want you to mirror them. And if you don't, they're not going to feel comfortable with you. It doesn't matter who you think you are or how rich you think you are. Damn, I'm going to burn this thing up. Okay, cool.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but the bottom line is education is key, and it's a science. And I had to learn that science, especially if I wanted to be with the big players, right?
Now, when you were in high school, were you a good student? How did you know to start looking into books? Was it because everyone around you had a book collection? Like, where did that? Because even being young, I can't imagine where that came from.
Listen, just because I have glasses on, don't get it twisted. I'm not that book smart.
Okay.
I know how to manipulate probably better than most, right?
Okay.
So money is the first way of manipulating anybody, right? If you had a little bit of money, you know how to give your lunch money to the teacher and buy her stuff, right? Whether it's a drink or whatever, right? I learned about how to get extra credit. I learned how to suck up to my teacher, how to get good grades, right? Without even doing all the work. It's kind of shitty, right? I don't really want my kids to hear this stuff and think that they can get away with stuff.
Oh, your kids are definitely gonna hear this. No.
Yeah, well, I'm the strictest. I'm the strictest parent. But
for real.
I'm very, very.
I feel like all the dads are like the kids know they get their love from the mom, and then they go to the dad for like.
Yeah.
Or they just don't want to disappoint the dad or whatever.
This is the thing, like. I'm not like happy with what I've done, especially in school, but I used to take baseball cards and, trade them to my friends that do my homework or, whatever I would have from my birthday parties and give it away in order to make deals. I was making deals in high school, and I was basically what I was doing is I was having students do my homework for me.
Okay.
Right? I was a B-level student for a guy that really didn't do much work, right? I knew how to manipulate the system to basically just work for me. So it's unfortunate, but I will not say that I have the education of an A student because I really don't. I just knew how to hustle. I knew how to have people work for me at a student level in order to get me the grades I need. I knew how to buy my teachers off.
I always heard this rumor that usually A students work for B and C students or something like that. You ever heard
A students?
A students usually end up working for them.
That's all bullshit because all those A students definitely were on my payroll, and that's just the truth. So
yeah, so you work. That's what that goes that confirms.
No, you said A students.
A students work for B and C students.
Work for B. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you said. Yes, they definitely work. Sorry, I was getting real fierce right now. I was like,
yeah,
no.
you were like, no, all those A students work for me. I was like, yeah, you just confirmed the theory.
By I'll say this, by 21, which was 2007, right? I was making like $100K a month, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
At what age?
I want to say it was 20.
Wow.
Right? I was having money go into my accounts that I thought that the IRS was playing with me and putting money into my accounts. I was thinking, like, where's this money coming from? It's just getting deposited in my account. I had so many business affiliations with people that money would come in and there would be bank deposits in my account, and there would be no trace of where this money came from. So I'm tripping out, meanwhile, trying to figure out where this money's coming from. And I was financially killing it.
This is after the $4,800.
Yeah,
you burn through the money.
We're moving way past that now. Yeah, because that was just one little stipend. Once I got that taste, it's like it's. I don't want to say it's like a coke addiction because who does that? I'm just saying, but it's like that. It's like you get that one taste of something and you want to just keep on going.
Yeah.
Right. So that one experience, that $4,800, I turned that to quickly money, right? I got one check that was like $9,800 or something. $98,000. What am I talking about? $9,800? That's nothing. $98,000, right, for one transaction. So, I was really doing some big stuff.
Now, after that first, I hate to keep bringing it up, but after that first $4,800, you end up learning a valuable lesson about how you're spending. So the next bit of checks, are you just investing them more wisely versus spending like a crazy person?
No. I did not learn about investing in nothing. I only learned about spending and living a lifestyle.
Oh, okay.
That was it, right? because there was no financial education for a cocky young kid that was driving a brand new S500, right? And that was making more money than his teachers in college, right? Because obviously I got out of high school, went to college, and my first semester I was like, why am I even here? I'm using used books. They're trying to teach me e-com. They're trying to teach me business. And this does not make sense, right? Because I'm making that ridiculous money. You know, I was like one of the very few people doing that stuff. I was a hustler that got lucky, right?
Okay. And then now take you closer to Love and Listings.
That's like way further out there.
And okay, so you and the dad, you guys partner. Is this when you're making a lot more money?
We what we did was we were funding like loans, and this is before I got into actual real estate, and I'm going to show you how I got into that. We were funding, like by myself, I was doing $50 million a month just in fundings, right? So people's loans and using warehouse lines to fund their, you know, their real estate. I wanted to do more retail, which I was dealing with the wholesale. It means that if you're a mortgage broker, you're coming to our company and we were funding your stuff, right? But I would make more money if I was the retail and I was making the wholesale, right? It was like there was retail, wholesale money, right? And then we're selling the loans.
What's wholesale money?
Wholesale money is like, for instance, if you buy this water, right? And you buy this for $1, right? A wholesale.
Yeah.
But you're selling it in the supermarkets for $1.50.
Yeah, but how's that? How do you have wholesale in real estate though? With lending, how does that
Well,
work?
I owned a piece of the mortgage company,
Okay.
right? So we made that money. I had a piece of the real estate company. Or not at the time, it wasn't my real estate company. It was me as an agent. So I was making my commissions on top of it. So I was making commissions, and I was making a piece of the mortgage company, right? Because I had interest in that company, right? And you know, it was like double dipping. Right? I was making an insane amount of money. So each transaction to me could have been like 20 to 30,000 every transaction.
Okay.
So that was what the retail and the wholesale would make me. But if it was just the wholesale, I'd make, you know, it could be 5,000 to 10,000, depends, right? Depends on what I have to split with my partner, right?
And what are your sisters and your siblings and your parents saying at the time when they're seeing you like extremely successful?
I think they were just confused on how much money. I mean, these were different times though. Money was coming in a lot easier. I mean, obviously this day and age is a lot harder, right? There's so many more regulations, and I was just young and cocky, so what are they going to say to me? I didn't care. Right?
But did your siblings say, teach me how to fish?
I wouldn't say that. I think that they were living their life and I was living mine in a very fast lane. I was partying every night and drinking and hanging out with chicks and just doing the young kid thing. Like the fact that I even did that stuff, when I look back at my life and traveling, like I travel all over the world, right? And I'm talking about like a very lavish lifestyle, private islands, like going to Europe, spending $50,000 for a week, like it's just crazy shit, right? And it's an experience that most people will never have. I look back as, oh, that's cool, but it was also stupid that I spent so much money, right? And I think that anybody that has ever made that kind of money, they always wish that they would have saved a little bit, right? I did not save. I just spent.
So where was that critical lesson where I'm assuming because you're saying that it wasn't a great idea at the time. So where did it take a turn for probably not the best for you with all the spending?
There was a mortgage crash, right, which affected the real estate world, you know. So
that was like 2008.
2000. It started at the 2007 and ended at it started 2000 end of 2007 and went to 2008. So I think I want to say November of 2007 where the market started shifting, right? And when you're making all that kind of money, it's like you have a couple drinks, right? You're not thinking that you could get drunk. You're thinking that you can still drive, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't see it coming. I was too new to it, right? It was like there was no lessons for me to learn. It was, I'm going to learn this lesson. God's going to show me that I'm going to learn a lesson. I need to slow down. But my foresight, it was not there, and that vision was not there of the market crashing. When that market crashed, all my bills of whatever I was paying, I want to say I was paying like $20K a month at an early age, right, in my 20s. right? I didn't prepare for. So I had enough money to cover, say, a year's worth of salaries because I was paying employees that worked for me.
Yeah.
I was paying for expenses. I was paying for offices, cars, $6,000 worth of payments a month, like some crazy stuff. And the problem is your ego's still intact. So you're like, well, it's gonna pass over. No big deal. I'm gonna keep on paying for people's expenses. I mean, by me having a decent heart and paying for the stuff and hoping that that things are gonna get better, it didn't get better. It only got worse. Right.
So
that's what's scary.
Yeah. So then what happens?
I mean, so.
This food's cooked, man. Feed us.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. I mean, we want a well done right here. We want a well.
This looks so good.
Yeah, you just.
I'm ready. I want to eat. I want to try these shells too.
She wants us to try the shells. So let me just say this, and I'm gonna serve this to you. Since I didn't prepare myself for a shitty economy, I ended up going broke. Like literally, and it wasn't like I was
like
gonna go.
How broke was broke?
Like bankruptcy broke.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, like when you have all these debtors and you can't pay for these things because your lifestyle is so expensive, right? And the money's not coming in, it takes a toll on you. Like, yes, there was some deals coming in, but, it wasn't the same, right? So it's like, there's a winter coming, right? But you're not storing enough food. You're lazy. You want to go hang out at the nightclub, so you're not taking enough food in. You're not harvesting enough. And before you know it, here's the winter. And now, midway through winter, you're starving, right? But your ego's in place, so you're not trying to go ask your friends and family because you're this macho farmer, you have this ego. So the main thing in this story is I had an ego and I had to learn a lesson from it, right? That, I needed to prepare myself. But, it was a first time. I was new, young, rich, successful.
So how long were you broke for?
Oh, years. It wasn't like I just, I snapped right out of it. It was years, to learn that lesson. And, almost lost everything. Got to keep one of my cars, got to keep one of the houses, but I still had to file bankruptcy and terminate my lifestyle, right? Didn't go on trips, barely had enough money to survive every month, just with modifications of loans and, saying you're going to pay back people. And, thank God.
And you didn't have kids or anything, thank God, right? During this period.
Let's see. No, I didn't have kids at that time because I was still really young. But, it was, I can't even imagine if I did. Let's just say that. And it scares me even to say that because, now I'm like a saver, right? So I always have money. I actually live a very modest lifestyle. When I see people that act like they have all this and that, it's ridiculous to me. I don't look down on them. I just think that they don't know, right? Yeah. It's like in the Bible it says, forgive me, Father, for they do not know, right? So it's like they don't know what could possibly happen, right? Yeah. So when people act a certain way, they just don't know what the possibilities are. Yeah. And I learned a very valuable lesson to never act like I'm better than anybody else or have more money than anybody else. I mean, honestly, I have a crazy watch collection, right? And I don't even wear watches, Wow. I got beautiful Rolexes, Cartiers, and all that stuff. What kind of attention am I going to attract, right? I'm going to get somebody because they think I'm cool because I have, a $50,000 watch on. I didn't need you in the beginning. When I had my Black American Express, I still didn't need you because you were only cool with me because I was spending money on you.
Yeah, well, my husband, he's reading a book called like Money Psychology, and he was telling me this morning that there's a difference between rich and wealthy, and he was saying that rich people, they're trying to give off this image, but if you ever see someone driving a nice car, when other people look at you, they're thinking, wow, that's a nice car. They're not thinking, oh, he's cool because he's driving a nice car, or this person's cool because they have a nice watch. They're thinking that's a nice watch.
You could say it like that. First off, it doesn't really matter what anybody thinks, right? It's what you think. If you want an expensive car, just do it for you. That's all I'm saying. When I was spending money on people, I was doing it because I was so insecure that I felt like I needed to have a lifestyle and have friends and whatnot. But all these people were like bad actors, right? They were only there because I had the nicest stuff, right? So at the end of the day, where were they when I had no money, right? They were gone. So
Wow.
you got to do things for yourself, right?
Yeah.
You know, these kind of moments and cooking and having a good time. You know, that's why, like, when you're a young girl sitting with her family over there at a table, like, and you're having moments, that's way more precious than going to a Mastro's Steakhouse to impress your friends.
I agree with that.
So, you know, I became way more family-oriented and more secure with myself, but it took a long period of time. It wasn't like something that was just, it came to me. I had to really fight the demons of the insecurities of trying to impress people for something that I thought I was, but I wasn't. I'm a wholesome dude, right? I'm cooking tacos.
Yeah.
And I went to, what is this called? Like Food for Less, right?
I saw your bag.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an interesting lifestyle. I had people, like, you know, talking to me in there. They were trying to sell me stuff in there, and I don't know if they were trying
Food
to.
for Less?
Yeah, I was like, it was different. It was different. I mean, but I'm such a nice guy. I'll talk to everybody. And I saw the one lady break out probably her boyfriend's Lexus glass.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, she was going nuts. Do you want to try this stuff? Like, I don't know.
I want to try. We're gonna. You gotta serve both of us up.
Yeah, I'm going.
You know.
I'm gonna do it a little bit different. I'm gonna do this one here.
Yeah, I'm gonna try one of your flour tortillas too.
Oh, you want to try that? Okay.
I eat like a full grown
Hold on. Let me warm it up for you.
adult person. So how do you end up inching into real estate? So there's a period where you're doing it for real. Oh, it's about to be.
You know what's funny? My girl made this comment to my daughter. We were in bed, and she said, my daughter's, you know, like that lifestyle, 14, and, you know, she had the Uber Eats, you know, the DoorDash, and she comes in like at 9 o'clock. She says, Dad, we need to get Chick-fil-A, right? And my girl's like, Chick-fil-A? Like, haven't you ever heard of, like, chips and cheese? You know, my daughter's very specific of what she wants, right? And this is how you know we spoiled our children. When she's asking at 9 o'clock for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Very specific. So yesterday I went to the steakhouse, Fego de Chao, right? And so my daughter hits me up, Dad, I need McDonald's, right? I'm like, because we go somewhere, you need to get something too?
Yeah.
Like, we have way more Trader Joe's in our house than most people, right? I'm talking about we have 2 refrigerators.
Yeah.
And because we go out, you need to go out too. My son, he's a little hustler. He sells stuff on eBay. He goes, buys whatever the hell. I can't say shit to him, right? He
I love that.
He is the ultimate hustler. He tries to hustle me. So he bought me these glasses. You know, he's like, he's 15, thinks he's going to get a Tesla for his 16th birthday. I don't know about that one. I mean, I want to spoil him, but at the same token, I feel like I'm doing a disjustice if I don't get him a shitty car.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel like I need to humble him.
But he sounds like a hustler. He sounds
He's the biggest hustler. He hustles me. But he's a great driver, and I think I have to punk him a little bit because he's just, you know, his mom is white, and I'm like that, you know, third world country, you know, got here to the United States. I feel like I got to, like, you know, kind of beat him up a little bit.
Give him a little bit of that humble
Because
vibe.
this American lifestyle is like, it's fake. A lot of it's fake. I don't think there's any kind of like grassroots that really gets you to understand culture. I think the people that in this country, the ones that have culture are the Latins, the Asians, the blacks, right? Because not talking shit about whites, right, at all, because my mom's white. But white people tend to replace their time at the table with activities, business, TVs, other bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But you're not doing that in Asian culture. You're not doing that in a black. Try doing that with a black culture and say, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to go watch TV. I'm going to watch The Simpsons." See what Mom's going to say, right? Latin, try. I dare you. See what that's going to work out for you. But a white person is again, my mom's white, okay? But you can take your food up to your bedroom and eat alone, like first class, right? Like, is it not true?
I don't know enough white people to know. But
well, I'm just saying, like that's.
Okay,
this
looks good. You hooked me up. I like it with the cheese melted. Woo woo.
No, we're gonna get you this right here. I'm not about to eat too right now.
I hope so. When does real estate come into play?
Well, you know, when real estate came into play, because I wanted to get more mortgage brokers to come work for me. Right.
This is after you're broke. After you go broke.
No.
You get into real estate?
No, this is before.
Okay.
So this is how I started segregating into it. So the story is kind of like choppy, but it's there, right? That's a little bit of ADD from me. So in my mortgage days, I was meeting all these real estate agents,
Mm-hmm.
right, to work with our company to get their clients. The real estate agents have clients. Obviously, they have mortgages, and trying to get them on board with our retail center, right?
Yeah.
Because I had wholesale and I had retail.
Do you have to turn off those stoves?
Yeah.
Probably.
That's it. That one's off right here. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Don't burn yourself.
no, it's good. It's good. We got insurance. So this is what happened, right? The retail mortgage loan officers were not getting enough from their real estate agents. So I had a partner that God rest in peace for him. Nolan, he died, but he said, Tai, why don't I do all the mortgages and you go out there and become a real estate agent but not really sell properties. Go to every real estate firm, meet all the real estate agents, and have them send me business. Take them out, wine and dine them, and show them a lifestyle because you're still getting half of my money, and go be the secret agent.
Okay.
And that's
brilliant.
That's what I was. I went to the Coldwell Bankers, the Remaxes, the executive real estate companies, and I went and did all the meetings and the tour, the tours of the buildings and general managers, and I would go take them out for lunches and say, hey, I got this really great loan officer, Nolan Nelson. He's amazing. You should really use him. You should just call him. Here, just call him. And then, hey Nolan, take this girl out. She likes horses and stuff. Whatever. She likes going out and dancing. Take her. So we would schmooze people, and I wouldn't even do business. I would just schmooze people for a living, right? Because I was still making crazy money. I still had my Mercedes and all this crazy lifestyle. And before you know it, I'm starting to get business. I'm like, real estate. Okay, cool.
Now you're getting the
now
doubles.
now I'm really double dipping here. So now I'm really double dipping, and I got my first deal, and I'm selling this guy a property. Francis Varillo was his name, and Julio, I'm not sure his name was, but I sold 2 of the properties. They were painters, and they used our mortgage company, and I just didn't realize how easy this was. I'm like, real estate, this is dumb. This is like show a property, write a contract. Even in my first contract I ever even wrote, I put the wrong address.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, God, I sold the house next door. Thank God the APN number was right on the contract because the address was wrong.
Well, that's hilarious.
I'm like, I sold the property next door and they signed off on it. This is crazy. Am I going to get sued? Right? I was freaking. So my real estate experience has not been easy. The fact that I'm even good at it, boggles me. But I'm actually not even good. I'm actually a guru probably at this point because I've already went through the trials and tribulations of, the chaos. But, I always had multiple incomes from that real estate, from when I got into real estate to the mortgage side to the wholesale side. I've done fairly well. That's why I could always go from one or the other, or dibble dabble both. This day and age, I don't do anything with mortgages other than as long as they give a good customer service, I'm cool with it. I stick in one genre, which is just the real estate and luxury and my clientele. Good. You don't really like onions though.
Nope, but you know what? I just bit into one. I'm so glad I put very little onions. I put lettuce too. Did you put lettuce?
No, but I'm hungry, so I'll eat everything. I'm not really much of a complainer.
You know what
though.
we need? Avocado.
Avocado's right here. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta hook it up, bruh.
Well, I mean, listen, I was grabbing the onions. I was grabbing the hot jalapenos.
You
over
can
there.
never go wrong being broke and eating tacos. This is amazing. And you know what? The hot sauce does help. I should put more hot sauce on my stuff.
Bomb, right?
Yep.
That's that broke trait right there when you got
The
the
avocado on the taco?
bomb.
I don't even think I do that ever in real life.
Really?
It's so bomb. My
Well, you
goodness.
do that sugar and lemon.
Yeah. You know what? I have a sugar. You know how people like alcohol and drugs?
Yep.
My vice is sugar. Like, there's a Twix in my car right now.
Really?
I'm like, please, Jesus, don't go down there and eat it.
We do like paper, rock, scissors. Who gets that?
So, where does love and listings come into play?
Love.
This
and
taco's
listen.
so good, everyone. I'm going to eat the whole thing.
Well, you're hungry too.
Oh, I'm hungry. All right, go on.
Love and listings, right? I've worked with so many rappers and people in the entertainment industry that I decided to grab my cell phone and just film bits and pieces of it. And after a while, looking at the footage, I'm like, this looks like it could be a show. This looks like Cribs, you know? Mm-hmm. No one was doing what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. This was before all the other real estate shows start piling in.
I mean, there was Cribs. But yeah, I mean, I was definitely pioneering it before the Selling Sunsets. But the problem is they didn't show, like the $1 Million Listing was out there, but it didn't show the diversity that the Jamaicans, right, the blacks, the Latins that had money too, that were buying all these properties. They showed the $1 Million Listings that were showing.
That's very true.
You saw the white people.
Yep. That's all you saw.
And you saw that they had a specific, clientele that were wealthy, but you never saw the cultured people have money. So, what does that say to our kids? That blacks don't have money? Asians don't have money? What is that? I mean, there's crazy rich Asians that came way further, later in the process. But I saw there was a need for it. So I started filming stuff, and I used rappers that I was friends with as a gateway, because they were buying and renting houses for extraordinarily high price, right? Because they were underprivileged, underserved, and when they wanted it, they wanted it. They wanted it because no one ever gave them the opportunity to have it. So for me, I was that guy that said, hey, why don't we, get them a better deal, as opposed to, because this is a culture of rappers. I want it, I'm going to spend that money. And don't even negotiate price. I've noticed that.
They don't negotiate at all, huh?
They don't. They just want it, right? Because
That's funny.
It's something they want. So I
You would think a rapper though, because most of these rappers act like they're a street. You would think they would think to negotiate.
No, because it's a flex. But how much is that flex? How many shows do you have to do?
Yeah.
For that flex.
Yeah.
So, I always treated everybody fairly and said, let's do it at this price. Let's do it that price, right? Rockstar, I did his house, right? I door knocked on that. He said, "Tai, I want to be in this area." Very, very predominant area he lives in.
Chatsworth, I know, because he's friends with one of my friends.
Yeah, so I door knocked on that house and I negotiated it, and we got him the house.
You door knocked it?
I door knocked it because he said, "Tai, I want to be in the area." So, and he'll tell you, like, I'm that guy. Like, I'll look out for people. If you want it, I'll figure it out.
That is actually everyone that I know that knows you. A handful of people, literally handful. They've all said the same thing about you. And I met you within 5 seconds, and I felt it. So I was like, "Oh, okay," because we met, and then you were like, "Hey, this is," So yeah.
Equality is a big thing for me. My dad's Asian, my mom's white, and because I look a certain way, I have certain benefits. But when I'm with my dad, he doesn't have the same benefits. So it's always really important to see that people get treated correctly and honestly. Because at the end of the day, regardless of their skin color and the money that they have in their bank account, they deserve to be respected and be treated fairly. And that's the problem in society. So I carved out a lane, for something that I believe would be a hit, which was Love and Listings.
And how hard was it to sell the show?
It wasn't that hard. It was more about who did I know to get me to the place that I needed to go, right?
Okay.
And just like the cameraman that's here now, I said, you always have to have one good person that wants to see you win, and to utilize that person, to keep on doing good to that person, to utilize that to go to the next places that you need to go. It's playing chess.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So because I study so much psychology, I understand, what one person can do. If, say, Coline, 10 people and the head of Netflix, I might have a conversation with you saying, well, what would you think about this product? Could you take it to Ted Sarandos, right? And, can you find out? I would ask you the questions to see if you would do it, But it's very important to understand, the value of each person. Everybody has value, and I think that a lot of people don't utilize it like the way they should. I'm just a master at it.
Yeah. Well, I like too that you said that find someone that wants to see you win. And then I feel like that's when it comes to like all my mentors, a lot of my relationships. I feel like I've been very blessed and fortunate to have like a group that wants to see you win, but just an amazing group of people. I don't know, God just keeps blessing me.
Well, you have to ask a lot of questions too, for yourself. Like, where you do a show, right? But where is this show going to be on? Is it going to be on a major network, the Food Network? Mm-hmm. And who knows the executives from the Food Network?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I know that Samuel L. Jackson's daughter ran the Food Network.
I didn't know that.
And I know that.
Fun fact.
Yeah. So, and you have to know, like, okay, so who knows? I know Stevie Wonder's good friends with Samuel L. Jackson. I know Stevie Wonder's wife. So you have to, like, put these things into the atmosphere of how you're going to actually accomplish that goal. Most people do not do that, right?
Yeah.
People forget goals, right? We have schedules, but we don't have goals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's important to really put your goals together and accomplish it. So going back to the show stuff, I did all the legwork, right? I casted the show. I shot part of it. Had a very amazing partner that was blessed to come help me and actually produce the stuff. He was actually one of the first creators of the Zeus Network, which was called the Black Box.
Okay.
Sean Matthews, and
he's one of the founding creators of that.
He was for LPM Media, which was Lemmy's company. I mean, Lemmy's done amazing with with Zeus Network. When no one believed in him, he believed in himself. Whether I like him or not, you have to give him credit for what he's done.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's living his best life. He manifests that, he created it, and he's staying with it. So going back to the show that I was doing, it's something that I had a vision and I believed more than anybody. Anything that you want to do in life, you have to believe it as if you already achieved it. From achievement, you go reverse. Now that I already have it, how do you go back? What are all the steps that you had to do to get to that achievement? And then once you get to the last step, which is where you're at now you can move forward. Now you have a business plan.
Wow.
And that's my secrets, right? And I have a show that I just shot for NBC Universal. It hasn't been greenlit yet, but I'm pretty sure it will be because it's such a great concept. And we feel really good about it. But, these are just the small things. It's like, it's not necessarily do I think that that they're the best ideas. It's just that I believe in it more than most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, what can we be looking forward to coming from you? I know it doesn't seem like you want to open up too much about this new show that's going to be greenlit.
It's another real estate show.
It's another real estate show. So you're still doing real estate. You're still doing television production.
I don't really tell people I do so much producing. I have made quite a bit of impact and made money. It's a hobby to me.
Okay.
It's not my career.
But your career is just strictly real estate.
Strictly real estate. So anything that's tied to real estate, whether it's TV or building houses, I'm a real estate professional.
Yeah, I like going on your stories and seeing the houses and all that. If you guys want to keep up with Tai, go ahead, tell them how to do it. Instagram, socials.
No, just Instagram. I mean, I have a Twitter, barely use it, but 310 agent, 310 agent. That's me.
310 agent.
I don't got very many pictures. I got 7, but I don't post any of the celebrities I'm with. I would say this right in closing to this. Everybody is a celebrity, right, in their own head. But really make sure you put the foundation for yourself. Make sure that you're being purposeful in your life. And if you have a dream, make sure that you head towards that dream and do it with the right intentions. That's it. That's what a real celebrity is.
I love that. You heard it here first on Eating While Broke. Now we're going to finish eating these tacos. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.